What's going on YouTube? In today's video, I'm going to talk about the different platforms that I use to sell my cards, the fees involved, and why I use them. So let's get into it. So the first platform that I use to sell my cards is COMC. A lot of you are familiar with this website where you send them the cards. They list the cards for you in your account, and then when they sell, they deposit the funds in your account, and you can use those to buy more cards or you can cash out. So on COMC, if you want to see what the cost is to sell cards, if you scroll down to the bottom and click on the selling rates, this will pop up, and they have a fee for both the listing. So right now the 3-week fee is 50 cents and then additional 50 cents for graded cards. They currently have the 12-week suspended, and the current year 3-week, that's taking multiple months, so I wouldn't suggest sending that in at this time. And then cards that are valued over $100 submit under this elite service, which is $2 per item. And then once cards actually sell, there's a 5% transaction fee. If you do end up wanting to cash out that amount, there's an additional 10% fee, and then a little bit of fee if you want a PayPal less than $2.50 or a check sent. Storage fees, penny per item with the asking price of over 75 cents, and then enhanced security fee, 1 cent per $1,000 per list price per day. And I have about $20,000 in cards listed on COMC right now, and I only pay a few dollars per month for this. So these fees aren't really that much. It's mainly the commission fees that you'll want to look into, as well as the listing fees. The other platform that I use to sell my cards is the PWCC Vault. So some of you may not be familiar with pre-war card collectors. So they've traditionally been an auction house on eBay, one of the main ones. However, they've recently started what they call the Vault, which originally was just a place for you to store your cards, but also now through the Vault, they will cross-list your cards on eBay. So as with COMC, there's two different types of fees. There's the intake or listing fee, which they call an archival fee, which is for graded cards, 1% of insurance value with a minimum fee of $2, and for ungraded cards, 1% of insurance with a minimum fee of $10. And then once an item sells, they have a fee that's based on the sales price for both graded cards and ungraded cards. The thing that I should note about these platforms is both will cross-list your listings to eBay. COMC will not increase the price, so if you list the price at $150, that's what they'll list it on eBay for. Or I should say PWCC, sorry. PWCC does not increase the fee. COMC does, however. COMC will add 20% onto the fee as kind of a buyer's premium when they cross-list to eBay. So that's a quick summary of the two different platforms that I use to sell and a quick summary of their fees, but let's see how that actually works by looking at a couple scenarios. So if you're to sell a $10 raw card on eBay, if you're to do it yourself, there are a few other fees that we're not going to account for today. So we're going to assume that shipping fees, whatever you charge, that's what it costs to ship. And we're also going to assume eBay's managed payment system. I know some of you still probably have the old eBay fee as well as a PayPal fee, but I think they're transitioning over the next year, everybody to managed payments. And also we'll assume there aren't any listing fees and you get free listings. So for a $10 card, the fee is 12.35%, so that would net you back $8.76. On COMC, after you factor in their 50-cent submission listing fee, as well as their 5% initial fee when it sells, and then a 10% cash out fee. And then also they add 25 cents per card that is kind of on the back end that really gets charged to the buyer. However, I still see it as a fee, and that's for raw cards, and then $1 on that back end for graded cards. So I added that into the analysis here just because I think that's a fee that gets involved with every listing. So for COMC, that $10 card would net you $7.75. That graded $10 card would net you $6.50 because of the additional fees they charge on graded cards. And the PWCC Vault does not accept cards valued under $20, so don't have to worry about it for this scenario. So moving on, if we're looking at a $50 card, so on eBay selling yourself, that would net you $43.82. On COMC, raw would be $42, and graded would be $40.75. For the PWCC Vault, a $50 raw card would only net you $29.75, and that's mainly because that additional $10 intake fee that they charge minimum on raw cards, whereas a graded card you would net $40.25, and that's because they have the $2 intake fee on graded cards. So I actually don't sell anything myself on eBay. I just don't find it worth my time or hassle or having to deal with buyers or returns or all the other things, going to the post office, all the other things that happen on eBay. So I only at this point am selling on COMC and PWCC Vault, just because for the little extra amount, it's really not worth my time and headache to deal with a lot of the things you have to deal with on eBay when selling yourself. So COMC for $10 cards, or for $10 cards, you're always going to want to send those to COMC. For $50 cards, I still send all those $50 cards to COMC, even though we're getting close on the net payout for both COMC and the PWCC Vault. I think it's just easier sending everything to COMC under $50. However, as we move on and get into higher valued cards, for a $100 card, selling yourself on eBay would net you $87.65. COMC would be $84.75 for raw, $83.50 for graded. PWCC Vault would be $69.50 for raw and $82.50 for graded. So once we get down to the $100 value, that's when I start to split up my submissions. So for raw cards, I still send those to COMC just because of the pretty significant price difference here through the PWCC Vault for raw. However, for graded cards, once I hit the $100 level, I start sending those to the PWCC Vault, primarily because they're about equal when it comes to the payout I'm going to receive. I guess you do a little better on the Vault. However, COMC, remember, adds that 20% additional buyer's premium on listings they cross-list to eBay, whereas the PWCC Vault does not. So when you're thinking about it, you know, a $10 or $20 or $50 card, that 20% fee generally isn't a whole lot in the grand scheme of things. However, once you start getting up to that $100, you know, that's $20, and that could sway whether a buyer purchases that item or not. And that only gets greater as we look at higher values here. So a $500 card would net you $438.25 selling it yourself, $425.25 raw for COMC, and $424.50 graded for COMC, and then $412.50 raw for PWCC, and $425 for PWCC. So again, the net payout is going to be pretty similar this whole way through. However, if you think about it, a lot of these higher valued cards, maybe somebody doesn't have $500 in their COMC account, so they're going to have to buy this card on eBay. And then remember, COMC will add that 20% on. So in reality, it's not $500 for the buyer, it's $600, which could sway whether or not they actually buy that card from you, whereas PWCC cross list at the same price that you listed at. And then finally, looking at a $1,000 card for yourself on eBay, that would net you $876.50. COMC $852.75 for raw, $852 for graded, and $835 in the PWCC Vault for raw, and $865 graded. So again, once we get to any of these levels, all these cards I'm sending to PWCC, just because they're able to cross-list on eBay without me having to pay that additional fee. Now, you still can sell yourself, and that's generally, if you look at all these scenarios, that's where you're going to get your best payout. However, again, for me, it's just not worth my time or effort to sell myself on eBay. And I've had a lot of people ask in the comments of some of my other videos how I determine what I sell on different platforms and what platforms I use, and also really what a breakdown of that fee looks like. So hopefully this video was useful for you today. If it was, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Let me know in the comments how you sell your cards, and if you have any questions. Take care.